Okay, so this is garden update number something. It's been almost a month since I've shown you my garden, but I want to start with the renegade rabbits that live in my front yard now. Actually, they're quite cute. We give them water and food, so here comes my garden. So you can see my squash are still thriving. They got through the really hot stretch mid-August. It's going to be 98 today, 100 tomorrow, and then supposed to trail back off again. So they look a little bit more green than last time. They're still cranking out zucchini. I got a dozen zucchini yesterday. So I pick probably 3 times a week and I get around 10 to 12 each time. So I'm getting around 30 to 40 squash a week. And it's been that way since March, I think. Anyway, if you want some producing plants, man, zucchini are the way to go. They crank. And you don't have to give them a ton of water. This is where the cornfield used to be, and they grew within the corn. Then I pulled the corn stalks out after they're done, and they're still blooming. Bees in there like crazy. You just got to really keep them going during the heat. You got to give them extra water. So my pepper plants are getting really tall. They're all about probably 3.5 to 4 feet tall. Got bells over there. The tomatoes are all kind of recycling. They died off in the heat spell, and now they're coming back green again. I don't know if they always kind of die and regenerate like that or not, but that's what they're doing. So we went through a crazy 2-3 months of getting tomatoes all the time, and now they're blooming again over here in the grape tomatoes, and hopefully soon in the middle ones. The ones on the end, the cherry tomatoes, they might have died. I can't really tell. I've got some green tomatoes that we planted late, right there in the middle, and I've got some ground husk cherries, which are tomatillos, to the left of there, and they do pretty well in the heat. They don't need a lot of water. They don't get too droopy in the afternoon. The tomato plants get a little bit more droopy, but yeah, if I can get them into September, I think I'll have some ground husk cherries and some green tomatoes over there, and maybe these will come back too. So now I'm going to show you my pumpkins that my son really wants me to update you on. Okay, so this is our fence that goes to the backyard, and you can see the Dills Atlantic Giant are running through the fence into the front yard. And I'll show you what the Dills Atlantic Giant pumpkins look like when they're small. This is about the size of a football, and they're yellow. And what's cool about this plant is it self-regulates. So if it gets a big pumpkin on it right in the middle of a vine, and then another one starts to grow on the end, the one on the end will die and shrivel up, and it'll allow all the energy to go to the bigger one in the middle. And I've got 3 of them that I want to show you that are really cool. First I want to tell you about the vines. Last time I showed you, August 1st, they were barely reaching halfway through the yard, and these Dills Atlantic Giant are almost to the house now. And tell you what, there's been a lot of cool pumpkin types in here and stuff, but the Dills Atlantic Giant seem to grow so easy. The vines are humongous. The leaves are huge. I could see somebody really, if they had space, just doing Dills Atlantic Giant, just several of them. And by planting several, you don't run the risk of getting an 800-pound pumpkin. So let's show you what I got going here. This one here is easily the size of a jack-o'-lantern and is just starting to turn orange. So they start bright yellow and then they turn orange, and it's got a little bit of a weird shape to it. They kind of get so heavy that they start to smush out flat more than another one. I stepped on a vine, gotta be careful. So this one is bigger than that one. I don't even know what to describe this as. I can put my hand on it and show you how big this thing is. It's huge. It's still bright yellow, so this one's not even close to changing color and being done. Now the one that's the big one, this thing's humongous. It's bigger than a beach ball. I'll put my hand on that one. It's huge, and it's just got a very slight tinge of yellow to it. So I suspect this is going to grow at least 25% bigger than it is. And like I say, I don't think any of these are going to get to the crazy 800-pound mark that they can get up to, because I let the vines grow long, and there's a whole bunch of plants in here. I think the guys that get 800-pound pumpkins, they plant just one seed, and then they kill everything off that's not that pumpkin. Let's see, this one here is a different one. I forgot what this is called. This is a regular jack-o'-lantern size, and it's starting to turn orange. Let's see. I'll walk you through here a little bit more. I picked several pie-type pumpkins out of here. And what's interesting about these different pumpkins is the colors. Some of them start dark green. They got the lines and the veins in them. This one's almost jack-o'-lantern size. But you see, the other ones are bright yellow when they start. This one starts dark green. So I'm not going to go too far in there because there's bees all over the place. But I'm going to walk along, show you some of these other ones. I got 3 of these. This is getting bumpy now, which is supposed to do. This is a French one. It's a baking pumpkin. It's called a Gallio something. I can't remember the name. I probably couldn't even pronounce it right if I had to, but I've got 3 of these. You see the top getting super bumpy? It's going to get like that all over the pumpkin. And then I got one of these. It's really pretty cool. It's been hanging in the bush over there. I don't know if you can see it or not, but where is it? There it is. I can see it. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but it's right hanging in the bush. The bush is holding it up. It's getting its bumps all over it. And it's been gradually slipping down a little bit as it gets heavier, and as that bush gives way a little bit. So I'm gonna have some baking pumpkins for sure. And this is early. I think these vines will probably do like the squash in front. They'll probably dry up a little bit and then they'll come back. Usually a couple waves of these things, I think. Let's see, in here, I'm gonna go in here, pull weed while I'm here. Throw that over the fence. I don't know if you can see this one or not, but there's a super dark green, and it's a weird shaped one. It's got like a bell shape to it. And I don't know what variety that is. I haven't checked my paper map yet, but it's about probably 10 inches long. And I picked many of those batwing pumpkins out of here, and the pie type pumpkins out of here recently. We've had pumpkin pie twice, and we've had pumpkin soup twice. And man, the soup was so good. And this is going to sound crazy, but the pumpkin soup was actually better than the pumpkin pie. Pumpkin pie was excellent, but the soup was awesome. Okay, here's the watermelons. So right here, got a striped one. Right next to it, got a sugar baby dark one. Right over here, got a big old round one with stripes. That's bigger than a bowling ball right there. And over there, I've got another striped one. And I've got a couple of the black diamonds that can get up to 100 pounds. And one of them is right here. It's small right now, but that can get up to 100 pounds. And I've got one in the middle. It's very, very hard to get to. I hate to get into the middle because I'm stepping all over vines to get to it, but I don't know if I can see it right now. I kind of see it. It's the dark green at the top. So I got wildflowers growing in here that we planted. The bees are going crazy. Okay, and this palm tree is blooming right now. I'll show you all the bees that I'm standing next to here. So if I die, this will be my last video. They really like these palm tree blooms. I knew I heard bees. I thought, what do we have, a hive back here? But honestly, I've had no trouble with the bees. They're helping my garden out. I'll go around the back, see if I see any more. My corn came out small. I should have thinned them out, but that said, we've got several hybrid and yellow corn cobs out of here, and we threw them in with the pumpkin soup, and it was quite good. Really added some crunch to that soup. You see, got the husks right here. They're about 2/3 the size of a normal ear of corn, so they're kind of small, but they still taste good. Then you got a whole bunch of little watermelon that are out here at the edge. Some are going to produce, some are going to get cooked by the sun. That one's, what the heck is it? I'm blind. There it is. Okay. Got a sugar baby right here. There's my dog. Hi, George. Got another striped one in there. There's a striped one, and the color is starting to fade on this one a little bit as it grows. Let me get closer. Getting a little bit less vivid in the green, and I've noticed that that's like stage 1. And when you see some ants crawling on it, then you're getting real close to being good. So right next door to it is a bigger one of the same type. It's got the I'd say like a forest green stripe on it instead of a real dark stripe. And then got another real big one here. And that was just like the real big one that we picked a couple weeks ago. I've got another pretty good sized one, and it's sitting on its end right there. So anyway, Austin's watermelon patch is jamming. Pretty flowers in there. The pumpkin patch has gone crazy. I hope it makes it to Halloween. Didn't know how this would work out. I planted June 15th. Might have been a little bit too early. But I think I'm still going to get some pumpkins around Halloween. My thought was that I was going to have a sale. But the way that they're spread out and spaced out, I might just be eating them all. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, that's my garden update.